Okay guys, we continue. Right, the second types of non-judicial review process is known as an ombudsman. Okay, the word ombudsman means representative in Swedish. Okay, basically ombudsman is derived from the an investigations power and the power to provide solutions, and it is assigned by a large organizations or governments. Okay, so they akan investigate the citizens' complaints and then they will suggest solutions. An ombudsman office was established by Swedish constitutions in 1809, and the idea soon spread to other Scandinavian countries and later to New Zealand, Britain, Germany, Israel, and some other states or provinces in the USA, Australia, and Canada. The responsibility of ombudsman is to receive and investigate complaints and to serve as an independent and impartial arbitrator in recommending that may be done to satisfy the complainant or in explaining why no action is necessary. So the main focus of ombudsman is to investigate the complaints and then to suggest solutions. Ombudsman may be referred differently in different countries. Okay, even in Malaysia pun kita tak panggil ombudsman. We call it as a public complaint bureau. Okay, for instance, in the USA, it is known as civil advisory. In England, it is recognized as the parliamentary commissioner, and nonetheless, the duties and jurisdictions are similar to one another. So, what are the purpose of an ombudsman? Okay, first is to channel the public satisfactions and dissatisfaction, and complaints concerning the administrator's actions which can be considered as improper, biased, unjust. So they could be corrected. Let's say during a disciplinary proceeding, okay, the panels made decision to dismiss an employee without lawful justification. So the employee can bring his own case to ombudsman, okay, because he dissatisfied with the decision, he wants to challenge, so he brings for the non-judicial process. It is established as an additional judiciary network to consider complaints and provide for the remedies because there are still loopholes in judicial control. And ombudsman is a system where an individual is appointed to investigate any complaints against the governments. Why governments? Because government is a part of the administrator. And the scope of their duty, okay, ombudsman would investigate matters relating to maladministrations and not those which are illegal. Example of maladministrations, okay, as improper, when the decision made based on improper basis, bias, malafide, discrimination, or impoliteness. Okay, factors that contribute to the establishment of ombudsman. The courts are not able to provide an absolute control over administrative actions because most of the cases brought before the courts are cases of higher importance. So, kalau small cases, you can bring to ombudsman. In making decision, the courts can only direct the administrators to exercise their duties if only they are mandatory in nature, but if the duties are merely directory, the courts may not be able to compel the administrators to perform even though such an omission would infringe individual rights. Okay, normally court will reach the decision made by the administrator in mandatory duties only, when they exercising mandatory power, not a discretionary power. And then the proceeding cost is high, causing all parties whose rights have been infringed by administrative actions to stop bringing their case to courts. Okay, so go to ombudsman is more, they can save the money. Okay, and then even though the administrative body does not provide controls over its own actions, but they are insufficient. This is because when controls are carried out by the same party, a fair and just decision cannot be totally guaranteed. How can the same party will make the decisions? Okay, maybe the decision will be unjust, unfair. So there is a need to have a body which is free from any influence to examine the administrative actions, and this is called as ombudsman. Okay, although the legislative does not provide control over the administrative actions, it still faced with problems to control administrative actions effectively due to the executive controls the legislative because of the development of a party systems, and the legislature has no time to entertain all complaints because there are more important problems concerning the interest of the country to be given priority to. Okay, parliament tak ada masa, okay, uh, to entertain all the complaints made by the citizens. Okay, and then they also provide a characteristic of an ideal ombudsman, which may be followed by Malaysia. First, okay, this ombudsman, he is appointed by the legislative, okay, by the parliament, and hence a legal officer, not an executive officer. So he will not apart from administrators. And he is accountable to and responsible to prepare reports for the parliaments, must be established by the constitutions. Thus, he is an investigator who is free and neutral in respect of politics, including the influence of the legislative. So his position is guaranteed by the constitutions. And he has an authority to conduct investigations either at his own motions or based on complaints made, has power to request and look at government's documents, and authorized to admonish and critique the officer and the relevant agency. So they are the rights to give warning, okay, to relevant agency, to advise but not to order, corrective measures, and subsequently expose to the public of the administrative actions. Okay, there are few advantages of an ombudsman here. Okay, when they receive a complaint, ombudsman will study it, and then when it is found to be reasonable to proceed, then he himself will proceed with the investigation process. Okay, including probing into the relevant documents. Okay, trying to find the evidence. And then the complainant need to give a complete statement when complaining. The ombudsman will determine whether the complaint is reasonable or not, and then this is very important, it is free of charge as compared to the court system. All complaints made will not be published. This allows the ombudsman to carry out his duties secretly without having the administrators avoiding their wrongful acts. And then the ombudsman has his own lawyers. Ombudsman will also be able to give the appropriate remedy to an individual if proven that the administrator has mistreated him. Actions by the ombudsman are carried out speedily. Ombudsman will be neutral from any parties, okay, be it the executive or legislative. He will be free from any influence. All action taken by an ombudsman are based on investigations. Remember the two keywords for ombudsman: investigations and solution. So they will provide solution after they exercise investigations. Okay, next we continue with ombudsmen in Malaysia, okay, known as Public Complaints Bureau.